Say, Georgie.
Yeah?
I've been thinking. This old farm ain't exactly the best piece of ground in Tennessee.
Now listen here, Davy. We ain't been back from the Indian Wars long enough to get ourselves housebroke. We ain't starting out on another jaunt.
Well, I hear tell there's land out west on the old Bayou River that beats this neck of the wood all holler.
New land, always new land. Ain't you never going to lie down and stay in one place?
Maybe. When I find one that suits me. Long about tomorrow morning suit you for a start?
I reckon.
Looking for a place where the air smells clean, where the trees is tall and the grass is green, where the fish is fat in an untouched stream, and the teeming woods is a hunter's dream. Davy Crockett, looking for paradise.
Oh. This suit you, Georgie?
Mighty pretty country, all right.
Reckon we can put our cabin over there on that knoll.
Well, wait a minute, Davy. First, we got to go down to the settlement and file a claim on this land.
You mean a man can't just up and take the piece of ground he wants?
Not anymore, Davy.
Well, this country's sure getting mighty civilized. Come on. Let's go find this here settlement. Say, mister, who do we see hereabouts to file on some land?
Why, me, but you'll have to wait till after I've judged the shooting match.
Shooting match? Any objection to a couple of strangers buying in?
Save your money. You'd be shooting again Bigfoot Mason.
Well, now, I don't know him, but I reckon we could risk $1. Come on, Georgie.
When we got to the shooting grounds, we found they hadn't waited for our friend from the settlement. This Bigfoot claimed to have won the cow they were shooting for. You could see everybody thought the judging was unfair, but nobody said nothing. They was all afraid of Bigfoot. Everybody but Davy.
Say, Mr. Bigfoot, would you put that cow of yours up against $15 cash money?
I might. Why?
Well, I never went to a shooting match in my life without getting at least one shot off.
One shot it is.
This time I'm doing the judging, Bigfoot.
Suit yourself. Give me room. I'm taking first turn.
Dead center for Bigfoot.
Better save your powder, stranger.
Well, now, let's see.
This one's dead center, too. You'll have to fire another round.
You was just lucky, stranger. Let's see you beat this.
Less than a finger off in the notch.
That'll take the turpentine out of your bark.
Tolerable good shooting, all right, Mr. Bigfoot.
Show an old Smoky Mountain shot, Davy.
Looks like a miss.
I was afeard you fired too quick.
Now, don't be getting hasty, Georgie.
No, wait a minute. Look here. One bullet right in on the top of the other. Right through the same hole. Stranger, you win.
Well, Davy won himself a cow and made himself an enemy. A dangerous one. Seems this Bigfoot and his friends was having things their way, running Indians and peaceful folks off their lands and selling them to newcomers. Folks in the settlement wanted Davy to take on a job of magistrate and put a stop to this. But Davy wasn't the man to seek office. Then one day we was clearing our land and... Shh, Davy.
What is it, Georgie?
Don't let on, but there's a redskin hiding in that brush over there. I just seen him.
Take it easy. These is Cherokees hereabouts. They're friendly.
Well, if he's friendly, what's he hiding for?
Fetch your gun and let's go see. All right, come out of there.
Why, it's Charlie Two Shirts, our neighbor. And he looks like he's been clawed up by a buyer.
Well, what happened to you?
Big white man come to my farm. Tell Charlie Two Shirts, get off. I say this my land. He say Indians got no land. I show government paper land belong Cherokee. He tear paper up. Then Charlie Two Shirts fight.
Bigfoot Mason again.
Yeah. Georgie, I reckon I'm going to take on that job of magistrate after all. Come on, Charlie, let's go back to your farm.
There's Charlie's house.
And there's Mr. Bigfoot.
Him plenty bad man. Plenty strong like bear. Be careful.
Don't worry, Charlie. Davy was raised on bear fights.
You want something?
Yeah. The man that run my friend here off his land.
Since when is Davy Crockett a friend of Injuns?
Well, Lawless been a friend of the Cherokees. Got no bones to pick with the others since we signed the peace with them. Injuns have got rights, same as anybody else.
Take a powerful lot of arguing to convince me of that.
That's what I come for.
Why, I've et better men than you whole. If their heads was buttered and their ears was pinned back.
Get him, Davy! You get him, Davy!
Give him what's fair, Davy!
Bigfoot was messed up twice as bad as Charlie Two Shirts afore Davy was finished with him. And Davy marched him down into the settlement for trial, and folks was so pleased with the job he'd done as magistrate that they put him up for state legislature.
Well, folks, I ain't much shucks at speech making and politics, but I do know the woods and the folks in them. And if you send me to the legislature in Nashville, I'll represent you as honest as I can.
Pray for Davy!
They sent up to Nashville the best they could find, a fighting spirit and a thinking mind. Davy, Davy Crockett, choice of the whole frontier.
I didn't see much of Davy for a spell after he went to Nashville, but he had plenty of other friends. One of them was Tobias Norton, the oily major we served under in the Indian Wars. He was in politics now, and he knew how to make a man like Davy feel important.
We've been watching your career in the legislature with a great deal of interest, Davy. Why, next to General Jackson, you're about the most famous man in Tennessee right now.
Shucks now, Major. Soft soap's only good for washing dirty hands.
I mean it. As you know, General Jackson is going to run for president. He will need men in Washington that he can trust. Naturally, we thought of you. Davy, we want you to run for Congress.
Congress? You sure an old head wound ain't troubling you just a mite, Major?
Will you run, Davy?
Well, if I did and I got in, I wouldn't be taking orders from you or from General Jackson. I'd be taking them from them that elected me.
Of course, Davy, of course. Anything you say.
The votes were counted and he won hands down, so they sent him off to Washington town with his best dressed suit, still his buckskin's brown, a living legend of growing renown. Davy, Davy Crockett, the canebrake congressman.
Davy done like he said he would in Congress and voted for what he figured was right. He must have messed up Major Norton's plan something fierce, 'cause when I got to Washington on a visit, the Major had it fixed up for Davy to go out on a speaking tour. The Major had cooked up a bill to take their lands away from the Indians, and the minute Davy got out of town, the Major and his friends put it on the floor of Congress to get it passed into law. Well, there was only one thing to do, and that was to get Davy back in a hurry. So I lit out for Philadelphia, where I heard he was.
I'm mighty grateful to you citizens of Philadelphia for the gift of this here rifle gun. She's such a pretty little lady. I think I'll give her a name. Betsy suits you folks? With a gun like this, a man could put a rifle ball through the moon. And the first chance I get, I'm going to try it. I thank you all again for the hospitality of your city.
Davy!
Georgie, what are you doing here?
I come to fetch you some news. Recollect Major Norton's Indian bill?
That scheme of his to swindle the Indians out of their land?
That's the critter. He's got it on the floor of Congress right now.
No wonder he was all fired anxious to get me out of Washington.
A couple of your friends are stalling it off as best they can, but there's no telling how long they'll be able to hold out.
What's the quickest way back?
In a saddle, the way I come.
Well, I know where I can borrow fresh horses. Come on. Whoa. Whoa, girl. Got 2 fresh horses, mister?
Say, ain't you Davy Crockett?
He sure is.
Bring out the 2 best horses in the stables for Congressman Crockett.
Only 2 hours more, Davy.
Sure hope we're in time.
When we rode up to the steps of the Capitol building, they told us the battle over the Indian bill had been going on all night. Somebody must have warned Major Norton. He was waiting for us in the hall.
What are you doing here, Crockett?
Isn't the Capitol building where a congressman belongs, Major?
Crockett, listen to me. We'll be choosing a new president at the next election. A great many people think you're the logical man. But if you go in there now and attack my bill, I promise you'll be through in politics.
Well, here's what I think of you and your kind of politics.
Crockett!
It's Davy Crockett. I yield the floor to the gentleman from Tennessee.
Mr. Speaker, fellow congressmen of these United States, you have before you what's called an Indian bill, offered to you in the name of expansion. Expansion's a mighty fine thing. Sure, we gotta grow, but not at the expense of the things this country was founded to protect. Now, I could talk about the injustice of taking away Indian lands, but I'd rather talk about us, you and me. We got a responsibility to this strapping, fun-loving, britches-busting young bar cub of a country. We got a responsibility to help it grow into the kind of nation the good Lord meant it to be. And if we right here in Congress right up and showed we were the kind of men our friends and neighbors figured we was when they gave us their votes and sent us here, why, a bill like this would never live long enough to even get on our desk, let alone come to a vote.
We'll vote it down, Davy.
He knew when he spoke that he sounded the knell of his hopes for the White House and fame as well. But he spoke out strong, so the history books tell, and patched up the crack in the Liberty Bell. Davy, Davy Crockett, seeing his duty clear. Davy, Davy Crockett, king of the White